Welcome back to Unconformed. If you are new to the channel, this is a Liverpool fan channel where we talk about anything and everything Liverpool FC. And today, we're going to be talking about Brighton versus Liverpool. A fun game, definitely a fun game. The first half, I think, should have had probably more goals in it, honestly. And the second half pretty much backlogged all those goals that I thought was going to happen in that first half. Very surprised that there weren't more, but 5 in the second half. How much more can you complain? If you're from a neutral point of view, a lot you can talk about if you are on the Liverpool side like myself. But I knew that this game was going to be tough. I knew that this game was going to be one that we were going to have to be on point for. And I predicted that it was going to be a 3-2 result. And that's exactly what happened. Herzeller, he is something else. Fabian Herzeller, he made some really great adjustments, especially in that second half, bringing on some of his senior players as well, really attacking down that left wing towards Connor Bradley. Really bared a lot of fruit, and the pressing that they brought to the game in that second half put a lot of pressure on that back line, which led to mistakes and gave them opportunities. He's definitely a manager that we're going to have to look out for. Obviously, we're going to be playing them back to back. We're going to Anfield for this next one, and I don't think it'll be as open as this one. Obviously, we'll have more of our senior players in the mix, but I think this was a great run out for the second team, and I think we learned a little bit about some of the players on here. Some unfortunate stuff happened in this game for Gerald Quanza, and then some bright points coming from some other fringe players. So we'll dive into that, but before we do, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Comment who was your man of the match right off the bat before I tell you mine. And then, of course, make sure you guys are liking and sharing this with all your friends and family. Anybody who loves Liverpool content, definitely do that. Come join the family. We just broke 3,000 subscribers. I never thought something like that would happen. I started this channel last Christmas as a fun passion project. Didn't think that it would go this far, but here we are. But if you're new here, welcome to the club. Make sure you put where you're watching from down below. We're spreading all over the world, from Australia. I haven't seen Japan yet, but Las Vegas, that's where I'm from, California, all over the world. We're seeing Germany, Netherlands. So it's very, very cool being able to interact with Liverpool fans all across the world. But enough yapping. Let's talk about the game. Goals. Cody Gakpo, man, he may have to be our starting left winger. I don't know. It's between him and Luis Díaz. And we're going to talk about Luis Díaz in a little bit. Scored the game-winning goal, of course. But he looks dangerous every time he plays on that left wing. And especially in cup games, he has been by far our best player in cup matches. And that goes for Champions League. That goes for Carabao Cup. So he just looks very, very good in that position, very natural. And it makes you think, why was he ever playing as a false nine, or even sometimes as a midfielder under Jurgen Klopp? He is by far a much, much better left winger than any other position he can play. And that's what we love about Cody Gakpo, is that he is a utility man. But I think if we get the most out of him, we keep him on that left wing. And I think he might have the best curling right foot in our team, man. Both of those goals hit with a ton of ferocity, and he does that all the time. And I always would think to myself, man, if those are on target, those are flying into the back of the net. Goalkeeper, no chance. And it happened twice today. So we'll talk a little bit more about Cody Gakpo a little bit later in the video, but I do want to talk about his goals. Beautifully taking goals on that right foot, bending in on that first one and slotted in on that second one. So Lucho, who ended up securing our game-winning goal, moved to that left wing, and there's just a lot of competition there, man. That is going to be a headache selection for Arne Slot moving forward. Did a really good job of digging that ball out of a pretty messy situation and slotting it into that bottom left-hand corner. It's pretty obvious that Luis Díaz is not a right winger, but he's a better left winger. And it's pretty obvious that Cody Gakpo is not a false nine and is a better left winger. So who do you pick in those situations? I think you go with Cody Gakpo. I think he just gives you a little bit more from that left-hand side. He can provide you with the trickery. He does have that cut inside, curling threat, Arjen Robben style, who does it with his left foot, of course. And then, but he has great delivery with that right foot and can Travella. So I like him there a little bit more. And I think Luis Díaz can come on as an impact sub. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Who would you guys start in the next Brighton game? Cody Gakpo or Luis Díaz? Both men getting goals today. Definitely a selection headache for Arne that he is going to have to figure it out. But the Dinger goal, and that's what I think we're all going to be talking about in over the next couple days. Joe Quanza gifts them a goal, man. The playing out of the back. This whole game, and both teams were guilty of this. The playing out of the back, with the way that each of these teams were pressing, just didn't look very comfortable with these second teams, right? Brighton played a lot of their youngsters, and we played a lot of our fringe players and youngsters. And it just did not look comfortable, especially with Gerald Quanza playing back there, who I thought was actually a pretty gifted passer when he played for Jurgen Klopp. But we're not seeing that same type of passing from him under Arne Slot. He may be in his head, a lot of off-field drama, a lot of stuff from the opening day getting pulled off early, and then to add insult to injury, the second goal, which he really could not do really much about it. It was a deflection into the back of the net. Gets him yanked off literally seconds later. And it's tough for a young player. And I think it was less so the deflection into the back of the net. I think it was more so immediately after the ball was restarted, he gave the ball directly back to Brighton, and then they created another chance. And I think Arne Slot, being as ruthless as he is, he said, enough's enough. You're coming off, buddy. And put Konate in the last 5 minutes. And I think that is a statement for Gerald Quanza that he may not have a future in the squad. A manager doesn't do that with 5 minutes left, 4 minutes left, and pulls you off of the pitch after a series of mistakes if he doesn't back you and he doesn't believe you and he doesn't rate you. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not Arne Slot. I'm not in his mind and all of those things. But you just, based off of what you see, this may be one of the last times that we see Gerald Quanza play for our Arne Slot side, unless he improves dramatically with the ball at his feet and his ability to play out of the back and make smart decisions under pressure. That is the type of center back that Arne Slot wants. Konate was able to adapt to that type of center back, and that's why he's become a favorite for him. And Gerald Quanza will have to make that next step up as a center back if he wants to play in a side like Arne Slot's. I think he's a great defensive center back in a traditional sense, but Arne likes a nice modern hybrid center back in his team, and Gerald is going to have to develop into that if he wants any chances of getting back into the squad. And you have to think maybe Arne goes shopping because maybe he doesn't trust Gerald Quanza anymore. As for the stat breakdowns, not much stood out really in the stats. The typical nearly 60% possession for Liverpool. And we controlled possession a lot throughout a majority of the game, but maybe that was like to our detriment, where a lot of the times we'd be playing a lot of backwards passes towards Gerald Quanza, towards Yaros, who isn't as great with his feet as a Callagher or as Allison is. I mean, he's still good and he's serviceable there. And he had a great game, by the way. Having 3 top-class goalkeepers is definitely a blessing if you're a Liverpool fan, for sure. But it got us into a lot of trouble, and I think the biggest culprit has to be Curtis Jones. There were so many times where I'm just like, Curtis, just turn and play the ball forward, my boy. Please just play the ball forward. And he just would just do that pirouette, turn around, pass it back, dribble past like 3 defenders, and he has great feet. I think if he can just get a lot of that energy and a lot of the technique going in the right direction, there's definitely a player there. But the back passes for Curtis Jones, I think it got us into a lot of trouble. And you could see when Szoboszlai and Endo came off, our midfield kind of got overran. I know Trey came in. I know Maka came in. But, Maka is a starter type of player. He isn't a player where he comes in and he makes, huge impact off the bench. You got to start Maka, right? And Maka had a tough time getting into this game. And Yoni had a tough time getting it. He had some bright spots. But you could just see there was just a little bit of confusion and disjointing, kind of in there when the substitutes came on, versus the opposite with Brighton, where Hertzzeller brought on some of his starters. It started to make the difference for them, right? They started to grow into the game and look more dangerous. And when Matoma came on and Danny Welbeck came on, a lot of these players, that were able to come on and start making a difference for Brighton. Didn't so much happen for Arne Slot. So I think this will be a warning for Arne Slot in this next game that Brighton actually do have the talent to hurt us. And we're going to have to be on our P's and Q's in this next game to make sure that we get a result. They are a dark horse in this league. And if you guys have been following this channel for a long time, you know they were one of those teams that I said we need to be super, super careful about. And I think this game shows it for sure. The way that they press, the fact that they don't get tired, none of their players get tired. They're just dogged about it, and they never give up all the way into the end. You can't ride out this Brighton side. This is like maybe the second or third time where they've stormed back and either drew or got a result. I know they didn't get a result today, but they were pretty damn close of stealing something from this game, but we were able to hold them off. But Connor Bradley actually had a really great game today. These are just some of the notes coming off the top of my head. Despite being absolutely bombarded down that right wing, I think he actually had a good game. Got forward really well and defended really well against two different types of defenders, right? Actually, maybe three, right? Incio and Adingra was on that left side for a little bit, and then Mitoma came, and then he was able to at least handle. He didn't pocket any of them, but handle all three of those looks that came from him. But Brian Gruda is another name that I really, really like. He played really well today. Very good with the ball at his feet. He's a Brighton player. You saw him today if you watched the game from Mainz. That was one that I was looking at for a long time. Really great left foot, and I think he came off a little bit too early in my liking. But anyway, this highlights the need, I think, to kind of just wrap everything up and put a bow on it. I think this highlights the need of us having a proper backup or even a first choice striker for Nunez and Jota. We know Jota is very injury prone. We know that. We know that that's a fact. We know Jota has a very hard time staying fit. And we know Nunez can't play every game. So I think this highlights the need to getting an additional forward that can play centrally. Not another winger, a central player. So the rumors about Marmoush, the rumors that are popping up about Gyökeres, I think there might be some substance behind it because I don't think Arne Slot wants to play a 4-2-2-2. I don't think he wants to do that. With the two forward players actually being midfielders, naturalized midfielders who are just playing as forwards and dropping down deep and covering left wing back, right wing back, and trying to come back and get the ball deep. I saw that happening a whole ton with Jones. And then left backs were cutting in, making runs, trying to isolate the wingers. I saw all of those things. Those things worked, but not the way that it would need to if you had somebody in the middle that you can ping the ball over to and put the ball into the back of the net, right? I don't think that formation works. I know we tried it in preseason. I don't think that formation works in competitive games. And you could see we changed things up when Darwin Núñez came on. That's when we kind of got overran. So maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But I don't think Arne Slot wants that to be a long-term solution. So look into that for me. My man of the match, Cody Gakpo. Easily. Who else? Let me know what you guys think, though. Who is your man of the match? Who am I not bringing up? I know there's going to be a lot of shouts for Yaros. He had some phenomenal saves. But for me, it's between Cody Gakpo, and I liked Connor Bradley today. He showed some steel. Hey, and you stay off of Robbo, too. I see you guys online talking about Robbo. He actually had a good game today. People are trying to cook him. Robbo had a good game today. He handled his business, and he got forward like Robbo of old, okay? He's listening. He captained the side today into a good result. At the end of the day, this is a great result for us. I know I had a lot of critiques and criticisms about him this game, about everybody this game, but this is actually a good result for us against a tough team, a team that I knew was going to give us a lot of trouble. We play them again next. We'll see who we play in the next round once this Manchester City game comes over. Right now, they're down 2-1. We'll see what happens there. But I predicted 3-2 today. I'm going to predict 2-1 for the next Brighton game. I'm going to stick with my guns on this one. After that first half, I was like, maybe I predicted too high of a score. I was right. But two entertaining teams with great tactical managers. Fabian Herzeler is one to watch for sure. But I think Arne Slot is the one right now. Another great performance from him and his team, showing a lot of resilience to just get results over the line. Not much more you can ask for from this Liverpool team. Some improvements need to be done in that second unit, but it's the second unit. You can't really knock them too heavily, right? We just played our third string goalkeeper. Come on, guys. Come on, baby. We got 12 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. I'll take it. Let me know what you guys think, though. We'll see you on the next one.